Hey everybody, welcome back to Dress to Quest. I am your wonderful dungeon master for the evening, and do I have a bunch of players that really need to tell who they are? Anyway, super excited for episode 22 to start, and before we do that, of course, we're going to drop it over to our players. So we'll start with Alex.
And maybe something else. She doesn't know. If she doesn't know fish, she doesn't know magic. So, she'll find out.
Alright, bounce that over to Space.
Hey guys, I'm Space. I will be playing Benji Goldenclaw, the I never get these right. The barbarian in Murder Mommy #1. I'm gonna pass it over to my wife.
Awesome.
Hi guys, I'm Torrance, and I will be playing your Oathbreaker Paladin at Castle War Raven and Murder Mommy 2, the Electric Boogaloo.
Alright, look at that.
Go ahead, Chris.
You just keep stacking.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no one introduced me, so I wasn't sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm Chris, and I play Jin Jack Wonderful, and I don't murder anyone, really. So you can call me Healer Daddy, I guess. And
Hey,
there
we
we
love
go.
that. Yes.
It's energy.
We now have healer daddies and we have
uh,
murder mommies. Look at this.
and I play the the life path cleric.
Awesome.
Oh. And I would introduce our next mysterious person, except I don't remember his name.
That's okay. We will find out who he is here because tonight is the premiere of the new intro. So we're going to get ready to set that up here in just a second. So once we're done with that, we'll get back and tell you exactly what happened last week. So talk to you soon. Hello, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that intro. Let's catch us up for what happened last week. So, their rescue in the chasms was a small victory amidst an overwhelming loss. Before leaving the chasm, Arowena stepped forward, her face set in a mask of determination. With a soft chant, she consecrated the ground, returning the chasm to the Frost Maiden's protection, a small act of defiance against the darkness that had claimed their friend. Weary and heavy-hearted, the party returned to Stillwell, where warmth and safety awaited them. There, they prepared a ceremony to honor Stark's sacrifice, using the gold found within the chasm to ensure a proper send-off. Jinjak took the lead, securing an urn, spreading the word of their fallen comrade, and preparing a feast that would celebrate Snark's life. Meanwhile, Arowena, grappling with the loss, felt a new power stir deep within her, a quiet, simmering strength that hinted at the potential of something greater. The murder mommies, as they were called, sought solace in their own way, searching for a tattoo to mark the memory of their friend. As the preparations unfolded, concern gnawed at Jinjak's mind. He went to check on Arowena, finding her in a quiet moment gazing out a window. There, perched on a still, was the Borealis finch, its iridescent wings shimmering with every movement. The bird tapped gently on the glass, and when Arowina opened the window, it fluttered inside, revealing a letter bound by twine around its leg. Inside the letter was a golden yellow feather and a note, its message urgent, calling them back to Caer Konig, the place where their journey first began. And that is where we'll pick up. So, as you unraveled that note, finding out that something has happened back home, how are you feeling right now, Arowina?
Panicked is a nice way to put it. It starts out as like that cold, kind of sinking feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and then she puts it down, and she will reread the letter. She picks it up again and will reread it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you reread the letter, you start to gather that the urgency is coming from someone within Caer Konig.
Mm-hmm.
And it states that people are being taken by a Goliath clan, your father included.
Okay. Because Jinjack's in the room, he hears Arowina go off. We're gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have
Go
to
where?
and she will kind of like hand Jinjack the letter like absent-mindedly as she's already going to like prestidigitation the room that she destroyed this morning from her jumping around chasing mage lights. And packing. It's like a whirlwind of activity.
I'll read the note and curse under my breath. You have no idea how much food is in the kitchen right now. And the funeral's scheduled for tomorrow morning. I got the urn ready. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a dog's breakfast. Hang on. I start walking downstairs.
Okay. You go downstairs and you see the barkeeper along with quite a few hands of different people from the town just doing little things that you got them doing to make sure that this was prepared properly.
You know where the murder mommies are? Have you seen them?
Uh,
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say it like that. Have you seen our warrior companions? The two mothers of battle.
I mean, we saw them leave a while back, but we're unsure where they went.
Oh, all right. Well, we got a bit of a problem. An emergency has come up, and we're going to have to go. But yeah, best we talk to the murder mommies about this. But we may have to postpone the ceremony.
But you...
Or I have a better idea. Why don't you just eat the food anyway and invite everyone over?
Right. What should we tell the townsfolk when they arrive? I mean, I think everybody is expecting a celebration of this warrior who saved Stillwell and sacrificed himself.
Wait a minute. Is the celebration tonight or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay, it's tomorrow. Well, we'll have to send out word that it's going to be that the feed at the tavern is on. The ceremony at the shrine is off, or might be off. But don't spread any word yet. I'm going to go find. I know what I'll do. I'll walk over to. Are the dogs here?
They are. They have been staying at the inn.
I'll say, hey, you want to find your mommy?
Ears
Come on.
perk up.
I loose. If he's tied up, I let him loose. It's better for this than me.
Okay. Yep, he kind of shuffles out of the rope that was connected to him and looks around.
He's never leashed. He
Okay.
just he does what he wants.
All right.
He does what he
Better.
wants. Got it.
Yeah, he just does what he wants.
All right. So I start
Scruff?
vocalizing like a husky. And then I say, "Where's your mom?" Exactly. And then I just try to lead him outside gently. I don't like drag him or anything.
Okay. He
And
follows.
say, "Oh, Shantea, please guide my voice in this so this wonderful Moggy understands me." And I'll use animal handling with some something on it.
Do you have anything of either Benji's or Castle's?
I can,
What would you have on you that would maybe give a scent?
without breaking into their room. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. No.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Oh, the coin that I usually use and I give to, well, there was a coin that I gave to Benji with a spell on it, and I assume she gave it back to me.
The smiles. The smile says everything. I don't think you ever got your coin back.
Screw it. All right, I'll go back upstairs. Says, Arena, you hold on there, and I'll go upstairs.
Erwina's got like an armful of what looks like half like folded bedding, like she's folding the blankets just because she's like that worked up.
Do you have
She's doing her
anything
own
of
turned down
Murder Mommy's
service.
on you? And if you don't, can you go in their room and grab something?
Why do we need their stuff?
Because they're not here, and I'm going to use the dogs to go find them. Or even better, why don't you ask the dog? Can
Okay,
you...
that would probably work.
Right? I just didn't want to interrupt you while you were all
Okay.
glowy, scaly, and in a sort of whirlwind of activity. But come on down.
If you hadn't told me that I was glowing and covered in scale mail, I would have completely forgotten. Great.
Oh no, I
Okay.
take things
And
in stride. I'm pretty sure
and she'll
you're.
just-
Oh, I'd be losing my mind, but for some reason, I feel much calmer.
And Candle's literally like in a prop position, just standing there waiting on you to give some
Where's
sort
the
of
boy?
order.
Erwina will put the stack of like the quilts back on the bed, and of course because she's in a rush, it falls apart immediately from her nice little folding pile, and I'll deal with that later. She'll kneel down and do a ritual cast of speak with animal,
Okay.
and okay.
You two give me a perception while this is happening. In the meantime, where are you two?
16 for Jinja.
We have taken off towards the river,
Okay.
and as we get about 50 feet from the river, woodedly area, partially, as Castle is running, she's doing that thing where she's like running, and like one boot comes off, another boot comes off, like shirts off, pants off, and just dives. We're skinny dipping
All right.
into the river.
Into the river.
I think Benji is like following her, and as soon as she starts like taking clothes, she's just like, wait, is this a?
I don't even look back. I don't even look back because I'm just doing that thing where I'm like hopping on one leg and like taking off a
Give me
boot.
Give me an acrobatics check, Castle. Let's see how well you do this.
Oh, it's terrible. I am aware. It's gonna be great. Can I intentionally roll with disadvantage?
Sure, go for it.
I want to do badly.
I'm perfectly okay with this.
Oh no!
A 5.
Yeah. No, you watch it. I mean, there's moments where Castle literally falls to the ground for a moment, throws a shoe off, gets back up,
Well,
starts
just-
hobbling
just-
again.
Yeah, I think just take a moment. All right, okay, and I just follow suit.
All right, so acrobatics for you as well. Unless you are taking
I'm
time.
taking my time.
Oh, okay, you're taking your time. So
Yes.
Castle's in the
19.
water by now.
Castle is in rare form today.
Yeah.
This is like Stark would want her to be happy and silly and mischievous, and she has never allowed herself to do that, probably ever. So she is just kind of going with what her brain is telling her to do the opposite of.
All right. Perfect.
And I think I got a 19, so I think I dive in right after Castle, but I do the thing where you're like a kid at the beach and your uncle comes and picks you up out of the water and just like slams you back in. So I would like to try to do that.
Okay.
Want a body check, me?
Yes.
Yes. Let's go.
Give me an athletics check.
Great. Athletics is probably gonna be bad. 16.
Do you? I would say, are you going to contest it, Castle, or no?
Yeah.
Okay, then give me your athletics check.
17. I do that thing where like I get my feet right on her hip bones and just push her down back under the water.
My God, you're so tall.
As you just feel your head submerge under the water,
Yeah,
a set of bubbles just straight up out for a moment until you two are completely just drenched water, hair is completely just soaking wet, pulled down.
Doing that thing where like you just like lace your fingers and just like bat water across.
Yeah,
And
we're having a whole water fight right
the
now.
whole water fight is going on right now. While all this is happening, back in the inn, we have Jinjak and Arowina. Arowina, you have the time where you've been able to speak with animals. So, what are you asking specifically?
She is going to ask Candle, not Scruff. Scruff is already like making a dirt pile in the corner she just cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of day for Arowina.
It's that kind of day.
But she's gonna go over to Candle and go, can you, I need you to find Castle. Can you find your mom?
Yes.
Okay, we need to find Castle, because I need to find my dad. I need to find my dad, but we're gonna work on that later. That's a future request. Let's go find Castle.
All right. And Candle kind of turns around, looks back at you and says, I don't know where she's at.
Okay, well, she's somewhere in town, so can you use your super sniffer? You're so good at smelling things. You're really good at it. And you know what your mom smells like. So can you help me find her? Or help Jinjak find her? I don't know what we're doing today. Besides finding your mom.
All right. So you watch as Candle's nose kind of triggers for a second and hops up on the 4 feet and darts downstairs.
Okay.
Well, I take it you told them what to do, yeah?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
I'll tremble down and follow the dog.
All right. As you see the dog is staring at one of the chair that Castle was sitting in the night before.
All right, I'll walk over and Arwina, you want to follow the dog while I take care of the stuff at the shrine, or are you going to be busy here?
She's already kind of like coming downstairs.
Okay.
A little like just generally overwhelmed. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll go check around town.
All right.
Well,
You take Candle.
okay.
I'm going to go to the shrine and tell him that I'm going to assume that this is a sort of well, yeah, I read the note. I know. We're leaving. Okay. One way or the other. We're leaving.
Okay.
I'll meet you back here.
Scruff and Candle, let's go. Let's go check around town.
As Scruff hears his name, just ears like try to go up, but kind of Scruff's got more of the floppy ear and just kind of droops one ear and it jumps up, and the paws are skittering across the ground in a lot less natural fashion, and down the stairs, through your legs down the stairs, staring at Candle. Just
Okay, let's go check around town. Come on, Candle.
all right. Just runs off. with kind of darts out, stands at the door, waits till the door's open, and then just waits on you the entire time.
Scruff is already trying to open it.
Yeah.
One day he's
paw.
going to figure out how to open doors, and it's going to be all over for us.
Did we get the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And she'll open the door and head out, unless Ginjack has anything else to add before she leaves.
No, I don't have anything to add. I just say dress warm because I always say that.
Oh, okay. She'll prestidigitation her cloak and is out the door in
All
a
right.
jumbled Airwena mess.
All right. As Erwin, as you step out, of course, this is not your typical Icewind Dale, as Stillwell still has that warmth of Shantae throughout it. So you don't feel the heavy breeze of the winter. You don't feel the snow coming down right now as badly. But you're standing on the front porch, the front of the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you looking to head? Or are you just trying to see if you can get that scent?
Yeah. Okay. The two of you working together. Let's find Castle and Benji.
They both kind of look at each other, and they look at you. They both put their nose in the air, trying to figure out where to go. Let's see what we have for. Let's see if we get a trigger or not. Let's see here. Oof. The amount of smell that's going on in this inn area is almost overwhelming with the amount of food. They're just like unsure where to look.
Okay. Well, then we're gonna use good old-fashioned detective work. Come on, boys. And Erwina's just gonna start asking around town.
Okay. Are you heading? The three main locations, of course, is going to be Oakencrests, the Perch, which is where you guys are currently at, and then Fieldwells.
We are a druid. We have spies everywhere. Erwina's gonna call for a bunch of birds. This is gonna go a lot better.
I was going to suggest that I've seen you turn into a giant wolf spider. Do they have a good sense of smell?
They're not wolves. They are spiders.
I know. That's why I'm asking. Do they have a good sense of smell?
I don't think so.
All right.
As
Just a
Erwina tries to remember what her senses were like as a spider. But we have ways, and I overthought this. She and the dogs will kind of like take a seat over to the side, and she's gonna cast Animal Messenger because that's gonna be a lot more effective than looking around town.
Okay. While you do that,
I have spies. I'm
Right.
a druid. I have spies.
you have spies everywhere. While you do that, Castle, Benji, as you've been just enjoying yourselves in this most childlike manner that you haven't felt for one of you for a very, very long time. The other, I don't know how long it's been since Benji's felt this way, but
Not that long.
not that long. So, as a splash of water just smacks you in the face, Castle, what are you doing?
I think we've been probably like just like splashing water like for like a while. I think probably at like some point like we did like the who has like the biggest cannonball splash and like definitely arguing about it like playfully. And then I think finally like Castle just like kind of like gets to like that place like where like you're still like having fun and being a kid, but like you do that thing where you like go under the water and like just kind of sink a little bit and then just like look up at the like reflective like light circles and like you just see how long you can stay down there. And like I think that's just like what Castle does, and just like to see and feel and hear what the world sounds like when you're happy.
Okay. So as
And
you sink down below,
yeah,
you look and you can see that the bottom level of this area is pretty dormant. I mean, there's a few things of vegetation endured towards the edge, the bottom portions of it,
yeah.
but it's very quiet underneath. But you can hear the reverberations and the sounds as they are above you, and the laughing of Benji as she's talking, or and and all these sounds of the birds that are actually around this area. And it brings you back home for a moment. Those moments where your father would be in a distance and you could hear the echoes of throughout the trees.
I think I think Castle kind of like goes back to like a very early memory of like probably the first time her dad took her out into the woods just because he had to, not because like he was training her or anything. Like
Mm.
just young, probably just like riding on his back, very small, and she just remembers how carefully he listened to every sound, every creak, everything. And I think she just kind of goes to that place before she resurfaces
Okay.
of
What
like did I hear?
Arowina, what messengers are you gathering?
She's going to gather as many Stellar's Jays as she can.
Okay.
So really, really cool northern birds.
Okay.
Um,
Um we'll say for this, because you have time on your hands. It's not like this is something you have to do and immediately has to be like gather
mhm.
one. Um, but one is the only one that comes.
Okay, that works for her. She's going to use her spell, though, Animal Messenger.
Okay.
And so she's going to give it the task to find uh, Castle, and she will describe Castle
Okay.
to the Stellar's Jay. And then we'll give the message of we need to meet up at the tavern as soon as possible. Bad news about my dad at home. I need to go.
Okay. And that takes the stellar state takes off and just kind of starts doing a small loop and then continues to widen it until it will find uh, those two. Um, and during the whole time, the dogs are just looking up, following the J.
All right. Well, um, well we're probably low on supplies, and we're gonna need rations, and I'm gonna need to figure out if they're coming or not. Um, my own dog sled if they're not coming, and then possibly another dog. And she's just like running through the list of things that will have to get done.
Okay. As you finish that, you this takes a few moments before it continues to do the first loop and the second loop. Um, and Castle, as you emerge from the water and you look, the first thing you see, of course, is Benji just standing there or floating. What goes through your mind at that moment?
I think I resurface having gone to a memory I think I had thought I'd forgotten. And as I come back up from that memory and back into this happy space with Benji, I feel just a little bit more connected, not just to her, but to this environment I've now put myself in of being in a new place, in a new space, and being someone I wasn't allowed to be for so long. And I just hugged Benji there in the water in that moment as I allow myself to be a happier person, but not necessarily a healed person.
Okay.
I think in that moment, as she comes up and she's had her moment, I'm just kind of like watching her, kind of studying how her expressions. Do you want to talk?
Kind of pull away from the hug, but am still in it. And I look at Benji and I'm like, you know, it's not that I need to talk or have anything to hide. It's that for once I am allowed to be. And right now, I just want to be with you.
I just pull her back into a hug. All right, well, then I guess we don't really have anywhere to be. So I guess we can be here for a while.
I hold you a little bit tighter, and then I lift both of us up and dunk us both back into the water one more time.
I shouldn't have fell for it. I knew it was gonna happen.
As
you
get ready to pick both of you up, you do see kind of out of the corner of your eye just a small blue and gray bird just start to flutter closer to you. As you two emerge back up after the water, it's just sitting on a perch about towards the shoreline of the lake, just watching.
Do you think?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna. Do you think we can eat that?
I don't.
I'm kind of starving. I'm hungry.
So I think like I've become familiar enough with like Arowena's messengers as I've seen her do it a couple of times that it has a little bit of Arowena on it. I'm like, I think that's
It's wearing a top hat, obviously.
yeah, like I think I see like it, I'm like top hat.
It's got the thimble hat on it.
Yeah, a little thimble hat. I'm like, top hat, Arowena, we should see what's going on. And I climb out of the water, and
as you get closer, it'll flutter over and it kind of perches on your shoulder and just pecks at the side of your head for a moment.
Okay, speak.
And then it gives you the message in Arowena's voice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think as soon as I hear her say her dad's in danger, it's like as clumsily as I like had taken my clothes off, I am like proficiently like just as quickly putting them back on and getting ready to like dead sprint back.
Okay.
Follow.
Okay, as the two of you get out of the water, and you start to, I'm gonna give both of you to give me, I'm gonna say perception checks at this point, specifically for Castle, because though you were very unskilled at taking off the clothes, you didn't really care where they went. So now the idea is not, can can I get them fast enough? It's can I find my clothes?
Can I find my clothes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, this is great. Oh, this is great.
Yeah. With the perception of 17s for both of you, it's easy enough to find your clothes. Though one of them has been hanging off of a branch for a little while now, and you're like, oh, oops, you pull that down. But surely enough, you gather your things. Once the message is presented, the Stellage J will fly back off towards Arowina and land on your shoulder and just kind of give you a slight peck at the cheek.
She will give it a payment of like from the inn that she's like sitting next to. She'll like go get it a biscuit to like give it a few breadcrumbs.
Okay.
I give you the whole biscuit, but you get too fat, and you wouldn't be able to fly. It's a whole thing.
Nose goes up, just with top hat
okay,
still.
I'll give you some I'll give you a couple extra crumbs for your family, okay? And if you eat them, that's up to you.
And he starts nibbling at it, but just sitting there next to you as it's just pecking at the crumbs on the floor or on the ground.
I just love that image of like Arowita being like, you can give to your family if you want, and like the bird fully going back to their family and being like, I just couldn't find any extra food. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
What did it like? The mother, the wife comes. Why have you taken so long? And this bird's like 3 times the size, floating home, trying to.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Anyway, so yeah, as the bird is pecking on the ground, just clearing up the gift from Arowina, we're gonna take a moment and we're gonna step back about 2 weeks from today, and we're gonna bounce over to our new player. And let me switch that over. Sturm, you are in the retreat known as the Sky Tower. You are covered in adornments, and your fellow Goliath are all around. There was a mission to go out and find out what is happening with the Winter and the Frost Maiden for the last couple months, and a crew went out with no avail. None of them returned. Arn, the chieftain of the Sky Tower clan, knows of your past, knows of your journeys, and in a very low and respectful voice looks at you and he says, "You are a man of 10 towns. You know its people.
I
Do you think you could find others to help in our cause?"
am sure of it. It will make our clan proud.
Have you heard word of any?
Yes. I have heard of a group known in many places as adventurers of some renown that have been hunting for the truth behind the curse of the Frost Maiden. I would seek them out.
I give you the Sky Tower's blessing for you to seek out these adventurers. Go now. And he commands you to leave.
I turn.
Okay.
I turn and I immediately head towards my home to grab my satchel and my spell book and everything else I I anticipated this moment, so I'm ready to go.
Okay. As you walk out of the chieftain's room, the door shuts behind. The camera zooms back into the chieftain's room as another individual, a large Goliath of similar stature, stands next to him. He says, "You know we're sending him on a goose chase." And the other one responds, "I know. But with him gone, we can make sure that we have enough help from the people of Ten Towns." We don't ask for help. We take it. Then we'll start at the closest. We'll work our way down as we need to. We'll send a small party to Caer Konig, and we'll gather our help as needed. Good. Make sure he doesn't find out. And the camera goes back to you. 2 weeks ago, you hear word as you're traveling back and forth throughout Icewind Dale of the adventurers through many means, but one specifically is you ran into a small clan of druids moving around Icewind Dale. Similar symbols to somebody that you knew many years ago. And they informed you that Stillwell is the place to go. A place that is already the only one that they know of that is cured by the Frost Maiden's wrath. Or protected.
I thank them for their help, and I immediately head towards this town.
As a man of the mountains, you're able to travel differently than most, traveling up and down the peaks, around the edges of these jagged mountains as if they are just another day. Cutting time off, but at the same time keeping yourself away from the towns of Ten Towns. It's about 2 weeks of a journey, but you arrive just outside of Stillwell at this point. You see the remnants of a pack of orcs just massacred. And treks that lead both to and from the mountain pass into Stillwell.
And I find only orcs.
Only orcs at this point, yes. You have seen treks leading out of Stillwell, large amounts of tracks, which would have been the guard troop that came to rescue Stillwell only days before this.
I'll walk towards the town.
As somebody of the mountains, you don't take the normal path that everyone else took. Everybody takes the cave and has to go through the trials, but you as a mountain dweller can go over the peaks, and you step in just on the outsides of the farmlands, where you are able to see green. You're able to see a lush amount of food and people. The first time you've ever seen some of these fruits and vegetables, you kind of walk through the gardens and the fields, much less rough than you're used to.
An amazing place indeed, I say to myself. I'll head towards the center of town.
Heading to the center, you find an open shrine. A place where people were embedded in cots, being protected by a young lady known by the name of Ren. As she's walking around trying to make sure that everybody is taken care of, you can see the light glowing deep within or above in this open shrine.
If she's not in the middle of some service, I will approach her.
Hello. not seen you around before. Are you part of the new trail coming in from Rinshander?
No, priestess, I come by myself. I am Sturm, a Goliath from the mountains.
One of the mountain
Yes.
folk.
I seek some adventurers, those who have been pursuing the truth behind the curse of the Rhine Maiden.
All adventurers, I would suggest, would probably be at the perch.
I thank
She
you.
points you down the road into this large three-story building known as the Hunter's Perch. She says, though one of theirs was lost, a ceremony is going off tomorrow.
That is unfortunate. Thank you. And I head towards the inn.
Okay. As you head towards the inn, the first person you would, of course, see would be Jinjak. At the inn, walking in. Arowena is still on the outskirts gathering sending off the messengers. And the other two still at the lake. Transition.
He stands out.
So as you step into the perch, what do you look like?
So, no doubt I would have to crouch to come in. When I stand up, once I enter the inn, I'm a full 8 feet tall, but fairly thin. I do have huge biceps, triceps, chest, but a bit of a hunch to the way that he stands. And he walks with an uneven gait. It appears one of his legs might be shorter than the other. He has blue hair and a slightly blue tinged skin. And I stand up as straight as I can. I look around.
You see a few people running around putting food into container, like into pots and pans. A gentleman, Jinjak, do you want to kind of describe what he's seeing as you're moving around in the inn?
I was actually about to leave the inn and
Okay.
go to the shrine because Arwena's taking care of looking for Castle and Benji.
So you see, so you would almost run into this man as he's walking in, this door of a man.
All right, I pause momentarily, blink, look up, and I say, "My goodness, you're a big un."
Sire?
Sire, I look around. This
I,
guy's
I,
what's going on?
I take a look at him. Does he stand out from the rest of the group? Do I think that perhaps he is one of this group of adventurers?
Jinjak is dressed like someone who is visiting Iceland Dale, and has been receiving advice on how to dress and has ignored it. And
Ignored it. Okay.
and has also received advice on how to properly dress for winter. Although actually, we're in Stillwell, so
Yeah, he
you
doesn't
see
even
him
have
wearing
it.
his fur hat with the bison horns, and or you see me
Okay.
bison horns, and I look and say, "My goodness, lost an eye, did you? Ah, well, if you pardon me, sir, on my way to the shrine."
If I could ask but one question before you leave.
Oh, by
I
all means.
seek, I seek adventurers, those who have been pursuing the truth behind the curse of the Frost Maiden.
Ears perk up. Why don't you come walk with me, eh? You found us.
Well met. And
Oh.
I reach out. I am Sturm.
All right. I'll place my palm in his paw and do my best to shake a finger and say, "Oh, I am Jinjak Wonderful, and I am a priest of the Earth Mother." And I keep walking, And I don't pull him along by his finger.
Yeah, I'll duck my head and exit with him and walk alongside. And as I walk, it is quite clear that there's something with my physiology where I do walk uneven, not very dexterously, almost clumsily, but with a strength.
All right. Are you slower than normal?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll reduce my speed so I don't go faster than him.
Okay. As you two head towards the shrine, Arowina, where are you at in all this with Scruff and Candle?
Arwina is kind of like, let's see. I think she's trying to move around with purpose, but she's feeling really scattered.
Okay.
So, you know all those gorgeous cherry trees on the map? She's
Yep.
gonna find her way over that way, catching like glimpses of color as she's kind of like putting together a list in her head, kind of just absently walking. She wants to know what that giant rose is on the map, for sure.
Okay.
She is very curious.
All right. As you pass, you would pass by. Give me a perception check, Arowina. As you would be going probably on the outsides, kind of going around rather than through the main of the town towards these cherry trees. With a 14, you kind of glance over for a moment and you can see a very large individual walking next to Jinjak. Sturm, is your custom to have a weapon in hand at all times, or do you have it on your back or on your waist?
He carries it typically, but it's fairly light for him.
Okay. So yeah, you see a very large gentleman with a large axe in one hand walking next to Jinjak.
Oh, good. Jinjak's made a new friend. Is like her first like
Okay.
gut instinct. Because I don't recognize him. That's weird.
No, but
I
it's a
don't
bit of a
think she-
distance.
Yeah, there's a bit of a distance, and she's not firing with all pistons today.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna need more rations, and I guess if it's just me, I just need good berries. I'm easy to feed. I'm easy to take care of. And she's just like talking to the dogs. She's just rambling nonsense to the dogs as she kind of makes her way over to the cherry trees.
Candle kind of listens, but then bobs their head and just kind of keeps walking. Scruff is used to this, so every once in a while you see the eyes just jar up to listen, and looks back down, and listens again, looks back down.
We have late night conversations all the time.
Every once in a while you hear.
You're right. That is a good idea. We will need some sausages, just in case, because I can't use all my spell slots on Goodberry. That's right. And a little like head rough, and then we're gonna have to be really tough if it's just us two. They're busy. I don't want to impose on anyone, but
And as you come through these sets of trees, and you can see the large cherry trees in the distance. That giant flower is literally that. There is a large, about 10.5-foot flower that just kind of blooms out of the ground like a tree. Fully bloomed. It's red and purple, and it looks very similar to a rose, but it just kind of this large plumed flower.
She like looks up at it, very confused. Unless she's ever. They don't have flowers like this in Kirkonic, that's for sure. We once had a trout around this size. Or at least that's what the fisherman said. I think it was actually a sturgeon.
While you're gazing up at this flower, the two of you are coming out of the edges of the woods, right outside the shrine. Um, we'll say on the outskirts of the shrine instead of going through the shrine. And you two are popping back, just putting on the last pieces of clothing as you guys are getting out of the woods.
I think Benji, for the most part, is kind of just keeping an eye on Castle. She's going through whatever she's going through, but she's trained herself to work out her own issues silently, and she tries to put all of her efforts into making Castle feel better.
Okay.
So, if she sees her kind of rushing back, she will drag, like, not drag her, grab her hand and kind of just say, wait for a second.
Yeah. I can wait.
And I will look at the locket. Can I just open that real quick?
Yeah.
You don't have to take it off. Yeah, I open the locket and I kind of just stare at the picture of my babies.
What ages are they at that time?
At that time they were 2.
So you're talking
One
infant
and 2. Yeah,
looks,
like
yeah.
very young. We have a lot. We have a lot going on right now. It's not. I don't even think I can talk about it, but let's just take a moment to breathe, okay? We have a lot going on right now.
At the mention of Snark and you saying you're not even sure if you can talk about it, I think Castle knows that Benji puts her energy back into Castle and just deals with things herself. And so Castle just like puts her hands on Benji's face and is like, we fly together. If you hurt, I will hurt with you. If you are sad, I am sad with you. If you laugh, I will laugh with you. Do not do this alone. And do not do this just for me. We do it together. And I like kind of brush the feather that I had like put in your hair that one time, and I'm like, we fly together. And then I stop rushing, but still hold Benji's hand as we make our way back to the tavern.
Okay. As you guys are passing through by on the, which would be the right side of the shrine, you are able to see Jinjak with another large individual walking towards the shrine. Jinjak, you are just outside the edges of the actual shrine itself, where Ren is still going around making sure everybody is taken care of.
So, Master Stern, might I ask, if you don't mind, what species thou art? Can you hear you? Master Stern?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Excellent. I am a Goliath.
Oh, have I heard of those?
Give me a history check.
Alrighty.
Let's find out.
I pray to the goddess that I've heard of this. Oh man, I'm really doing Stinking up the place tonight. Oh, that's fine. Just get it out of my system.
You've just heard there are folks. There are other types of folk within Icewind Dale, larger folk than normal, but you didn't know what they are or who they are.
Are they all as mighty and as long shanked as you?
I might be the weakest of all of us, but we are a strong species.
All right. I'm looking for Ren.
Okay, she's attending to one of the guards that is still in one of the more critical conditions from the attack about a week ago at this point.
I call out to her and say, "Oi, Ren! Look who I found! This year's Stern. He was
We
looking.
have met.
We
The
spoke
lawyer.
earlier. He stated he was looking for somebody and I figured that it was looking for you all.
Ah, all right. Ren, I have a boon to ask of you.
Anything.
Looks like we're gonna have to leave very
Oh,
quickly. There's an emergency with Arwena's family, and unfortunately, that means that I'm gonna have to cancel the ceremony.
Jinjak?
Hmm?
What was that name you said?
Arwena.
She is amongst you?
Not at present, but yes, she's
Can you please describe her for me?
Certainly as soon as you inform me of what business you have with her.
I may know her.
Oh, all right, that's handy. Anyhow, when's the last time you saw her?
I was a young man. A boy, really. I was banished from my tribe for being as weak as I was. I would have died if not for her father, but she was the one that found me. I lived with him for years, for 5 years.
Well, she probably doesn't look the same way as she did 5 years ago, but she's a young elven woman, sort of hair that's sort of like strawberry blonde.
She is elf or half elf, sire.
Oh, half elf. Sorry, I get that confused sometimes. She's a half elf, and she's pert nose, sprinkling of freckles across it, blue eyes.
I would very much like to see her. And you can tell that I have perked up quite a bit and I'm looking around. Where might she be?
I'll take you to her momentarily. Anyhow, one sec. One moment, please. Ren,
yes.
could you pass the word that we have to leave and that the food's already prepared, so the party in the tavern's still going to happen. Also, I commissioned an urn for Snark's remains, and I hand her a pouch. Could you put this in the urn, and then have that at the tavern, and let him know that Snark's there, so he can watch him eat.
Of
And
course.
and if you can hear this, and you happen to feel like haunting and doing some pranks in there, then you have the blessing of Shantae. Come, Stern.
I'm sorry about your friend, Jinjak. And I apologize.
Sorry too.
And she
But,
very.
I have a feeling that
very
somewhere
gently.
down the line up. We're both talking at the same time. Okay.
Oh, sorry. You can go first.
I have a feeling, and I have faith, and I am a creature of faith, that someday the goddess will bless me enough so that I can bring him back. So I'm trying to keep the attitude that, he's away for a while.
That is a very good way to think, Jinjak.
Well, it beats having to mourn him. More like, you bloody nuisance. He's gone for a while until I can fetch him. Let's see, where would Irina be? And I whistle for the dogs. That would be animal handling again?
Yep.
I'm
And-
sorry.
It'll be animal handling, but you'll have an advantage because these are the dogs that you are around at all times.
Sweet. 24.
Yeah, 24. You take a whistle, and it doesn't take very long before the two start to come out of the like up from over the hill and just head down into towards the shrine.
All right, I start making husky noises.
And you got both of them. Scruff is kind of on the ground, paws in like over top of Nose, just looking up at you. Candle's sitting perfectly right next to you.
All right, I rub Scruff's tummy, and I say, "Come on, go find
Flops
Arwina."
over immediately, and Scruff gets up, and the two of them dart back off towards the inn.
We just follow these two, Stern.
And they'll slow down as they notice that you all are walking. They just kind of slow it down. Scruff Scruff more so will be like that start and stop though. So like he'll get excited and run and then stop, run and then stop.
So Sturm has had this experience before. So effectively, I would be using my bonus action to kind of speed up slightly.
Okay.
So it'd be obvious that I'm putting more exertion, but I would pick up the pace so I can walk alongside them.
Okay.
All right. When I call out, Arwina, Arwen, no.
Are you two heading back to the inn?
We're
Castle
dog.
and Benji?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So after glancing over and seeing the individual with Jinjak, Ren will take the remains and place it in a safe location. After getting information on where the urn is being built and whatnot.
Yeah, I think we paid for it in advance. Did we not?
It was paid for in advance. Yep. And then all of a sudden, you and the two of you will head off towards the inn. However, the dogs will keep going, as they have scent of Arowina and will head that direction past the inn. You two will, Castle and Benji, you'll walk into the inn. Notice there is a smorgasbord of food that is being prepared. Some has already been set out, kind of just as like appetizers and hors d'oeuvres for people as they walk in.
I immediately make a plate. I am
Yeah.
starving.
I think I'm with Benji on that. Like, there is some urgency to what we need to do, but without knowing where, like, if they're back yet or anything like that, I'm like, can't make a decision until everyone is here. So we put our boots up and we're eating as we wait for our people.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you do that, Jinjak and Stern, you'll pass by the Hunter's Perch, and you'll head over through a small thicket of trees towards this massive bloomed flower and an assortment of cherry trees. And you can see there in the distance just Arowina staring up at them, kind of in awe of the flowers.
Now Stern, I just want to say she's changed a bit from when you saw her when you were a wee one. So just don't be alarmed, all right?
Of course.
And she's actually changed a bit since yesterday as well. So don't be alarmed, all right?
Thank you for your warning, Jinjak.
Arwina! You're muted out.
Yeah. So Erwina is like just kind of dumbfoundedly like looking at like this giant flower, like, oh, like, and then like snaps out of it when she hears her name and kind of like looks around and then finds Jinjak and it's like, oh, hi.
So,
What's going on? What new bad news do you have? Like the
And it's
What?
not like Sturm can really hide himself either behind Jinjak. I mean, it's like 8 foot to like 5 foot. So
I lean in. Rabbit?
it's like that like slow like blink of like where gears are trying to turn.
Slowly starting to spark.
This has been Erwina's very strange day, from the time she woke up till now. Um,
It is Sturm. You would know me
Oh.
as a young boy.
oh, you're tall.
I
I mean,
grew.
you were always tall, but you're taller. Like, taller.
As are you, Rabbit. I go down on one knee and I reach up to shake her hand.
I snicker, and I say, and I take out my book and I say, "Rabbit, is it?" Ah,
No. Yes, no, yes. Hi, Sturm.
If you prefer, I may call you Arwina. But Rabbit is a very precious name to me. You were the one that saved me.
Yeah, I mean, as much as a small child dragging a slightly larger child back to her house can save somebody.
And you
But
taught
yeah,
me.
It's been a long time.
Yes, 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Time does fly.
How was your family?
Well, mom's on migration. And my dad's been kidnapped. You know, just normal, just a normal day. He was doing great until then.
You jest with me, Rabbit?
No, I wish I was. I wish this was an elaborate prank. Maybe it is. Maybe this is all an elaborate prank. As she's like standing in like shimmering magical armor in front of a giant flower, talking to a friend she hasn't seen in like 30 years about her kidnapped dad. Maybe this is all just like an elaborate prank. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe I'm actually asleep. Maybe I'm actually asleep. That would make a lot of sense. That would make more sense than what's going on.
Then I found you at a time of sorrow and more sorrow. You've lost a friend and now your father.
Yeah.
You plan on finding him?
Yeah. As soon as I possibly can, I was gonna at least let my friends know that I need to go. Like I need to go.
I was sent by my people to help find the cause of the curse and, of course, reverse it. But I would defer to you. I owe you and your family much. I turn to Jinjak. What are your plans? There are others, more than two.
oh, well, yes, there's two others, the mummies, and where our plans are. Where are we going, Arwina? We're going back to Bin Shandar?
Kaer Konig.
Erkonig,
Shander.
right.
I wish I lived in Bryn Shander.
We'll be there, don't
Anyway.
worry. We're going to Kaer Konig to rescue her dad, or at least sort out whatever trouble's going on there. And knowing this place, odds are it has something to do with the curse on Icewind Dale.
We keep finding ways that it's just bad. It's all interconnected and it's all bad. The Icewind Dale is falling apart and my dad's missing.
It's like one big conspiracy.
As long as I stand, we will make things better. I will work for you. I'll work with you. We will find your father.
I looked at Arwina and I say, so this is your childhood friend?
Yeah, he lived with us for a good couple years, until he left. Until he left, my dad loved teaching him about fish, and
Yes.
yeah,
Your dad does love fish.
yes, he does. Maybe they're just on a fishing trip. Maybe he's been kidnapped on a fishing trip and we'll find him with a giant sturgeon. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I reckon. Did you manage to get in touch with Castle and Benji?
Oh, I sent them a bird. Oh yeah, I sent them a bird and told them to meet us at the inn.
All
We
right.
should probably head back that way.
Mm-hmm. Have
Sorry,
you
it's
sorted
just
out?
been a day, Jack. It's just been a day.
Have you sorted out? You know, the whoo stuff yet? Mm.
No, no,
All right.
I woke up like this, I guess.
Ah, have some faith. I'm sure it'll work out. It's nature's way of saying you're doing well.
I don't think so, but okay. All right. Well, let's go introduce you to my other friends, Sturm. Let's go.
All right, as you all head back to the Hunter's Perch, the Castle and Benji are plate full in front of each of them, just digging in. You watch as the three of them walk into where you all meet up and the eyes connect. And as that happens, we're going to go to our break so that we can, before we find out what happens next. Real quick, we do have a quick announcement. Currently, Tabletop Misfits has been sponsored by Monument Studios this year. So what that means is that we're going to get new sounds as their new sound board is dropping here in about I think tomorrow. So let me just pop that up here real quick to show that off. Where's my filter? There it is. Yeah, so you can go check that out over at Monument Studios for their Kickstarter. So
New sounds. I heard that.
yeah, right. New sounds. Their whole new system, and it looks amazing. So it'll give us all new fantasy sounds and tavern sounds and sci-fi sounds. And they did win one. They won an ENnie at the at Gen Con this year. So yep, keep an eye out. Go check them out. Until then, Chris, do you have anything for us tonight or no? Oh, we do. We got images. Oh, we got Sturm already. Look at that.
So good.
So good.
And
Oh, there's more.
still working this one out.
Oh, that's so cute.
The sizing is crazy, but I love it.
Well, I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, Jim Jack's what, 5 foot and a bit.
Yeah, we're talking 3.5 feet difference between most of it. Mostly everybody in the party. So definitely going to be an interesting change from the 3.5 feet tall goblin to the 8.5 foot tall or 8 foot tall Goliath. But we'll see where all this happens here as we come back. So we'll see you guys all back in about 10 minutes.
I have a good reference for
All right, and we're back. So, from those that are just turning in, of course, we've went back to the Hunter's Perch, where the party has now completely congregated. Benji and Castle are still stuffing their face full of food, while the three of you walk in. By the table, amongst the amount of just commotion that's happening, giving you a moment to sit down. Anyone is welcome to start this conversation.
Ah, there they are. Benji, Castle. This is Stern.
I think Benji just looks up. She's like mouth. She has food in her mouth. Her mouth is just wide open. She's like, "Whoa, you're big."
That's exactly what. Well, that's not exactly what I said, but he's bigger than us anyway. Mr. Stern is Goliath.
Is it a pleasure to meet you?
He's small for a Goliath too, apparently. Oh,
Not so much small as I am weak.
oh, weakness is just a relative thing, my friend. I mean,
In my clan, sire, it is everything.
Uh-huh. Anyhow, Stern is a awkward silence. Stern is a childhood friend of Erwina.
Erwina is
he would
attempting
like
to
to-
hide behind Sturm from her friends.
Erwina,
Inside
who,
check.
who was
Oh,
just,
she is like in
disappeared.
the wind.
Where did Erwina go? This is awkward. I'm sure
Nat
she.
20 behind the Goliath.
All right, I'm going to go for perception. I'm looking for her.
I'm now officially a hiding space for our game.
Right, yeah.
All right. Arwina was just with us, but don't worry, she's. Where the hell are you? But she's a childhood friend of Stern's, and she's vouching for him. And I pull out the note that I have not returned to Arwina, and I just tell the group basically. Looks like there's trouble in Kaer Konig, so I don't know if Arwina messaged this to you, but we are. It sounds like an emergency, so I've already made arrangements for. I pull off my hat and say for Snark's ceremony to be postponed, and they'll still have a proper wake, and I've made arrangements for his remains to be here for that. But
I actually I would like to I want to make an insight check into Sturm because he said he was weak and basically like is like talking badly about himself and how his clan views him. And like I want to insight into that. Like
Okay.
I want to know if like does he also feel this way about himself or is this like similar to how I was raised and trained?
Okay.
Like yeah. So I don't know if he's trying to hide that or not, but I wanna clock this.
Okay.
I would say probably about a 8 or 9 or more. I could give you kind of the truth.
12.
Yeah. So yeah, you can definitely sense it, and it doesn't seem to him like so much a lack of confidence is a fact to him, which is probably given your background, you might be still hurtful. But yeah, that's the way that he sees himself because that's the way he's been projected by his client. And you can tell again if you missed earlier, he has one leg shorter than the other, and he has a bit of a kind of a hunch in his back slightly, and he breathes not completely evenly all the time. So it's definitely something not perfect on his physiology, aside from him being very strong.
Yeah, I definitely think Castle like clocks this like and kind of like I think like Castle's gonna take it like a little personally, but like not in like a negative way. Like Castle's kind of turning a corner in like herself and like now she's like being reminded that like, oh, I wasn't the only person raised this way. This is a problem. And so she's gonna make note of that.
Okay.
And whoever between Benji or Castle, whichever seems to be looking at me more, which sounds like Castle, I'll reach out to shake hands and I say, I'm sorry for your loss.
I graciously like do like that handshake where like you're shaking someone's hand, but like you're also like kind of trying to like let them know like
Yeah,
I see
definitely.
you and I know what you're saying about yourself. Like, and I'm just like, thank you. But like,
And,
I clocked you.
and I will acknowledge that by using my other hand to basically take, or one hand of my two hands, and I nod my head down and I turn towards Benji and I reach out as well. To lose a friend is a terrible thing indeed. I'm sorry for your loss. I say to
Thank
Benji.
Thank you. Storm? Sturm?
It is Sturm.
Sturm. Hey, why did you come and sit with us? You know, we were just about to bring out some tea. And I clean out, like I pull a chair from a different table and I sit it right in between Castle and I. They were just about to bring out a teapot. You like tea?
Of course.
Great. And I just I just try to find Erwina since Jinjack, where's Erwina?
Erwina's a ghost.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Benji,
So
you can
you
roll your
said-
perception as well as if you'd like. You still have to beat a 21.
I'm not even gonna try. I think I'm just gonna turn my attention back to Sturm. And
Okay.
I'm just like, so you said you were childhood friends. And I do like the air quote.
Yes, I was somewhere around 15 seasons. I think she was only 5. My mother had died, and my father, who wanted me banished from the tribe, had me sent out at that time. I would have died, but she found me. She and her family raised me. For 5 years, I lived with them. Taught me kindness. That is something that stays with me.
Out from behind Stern's back, you guys see Erwina sticks like a hand out for more snacks. She's been like slowly eating.
I gasp. Ah, there you are.
I think I just like hold up like a plate of like cookies to like beat your hand, like as like it just like reaches over. I just hold it up. I'm just like, yep.
Come on, Erwina, you can't hide like that forever. No one's gonna be making fun of you or anything. I'm sure. I mean, you look wonderful. Come on. Try to coax her out with a cookie.
I just like pull the plate further away, like towards, just like pass it around the table.
I'll take one
Chocolate.
cookie and I'll hold it out. And I'll just say, come on. Don't be that way.
Like poke her head out from behind Sturm. I'm here. I've been here the whole time.
Why are you hiding? I mean, it's okay to be childhood best friends.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
so sorry. I'm sorry to barge in here, but I heard one of you wanted tea, so I brought tea.
Oh, you are. Who is this?
Just one of the waitresses. The people are running around you all just consistently, so unheard. Just we know you've been having a hard one, and she just lays a tea kettle and a couple cups next to you. Just figured I'd help, and she darts back off.
Is it still morning?
It'd be more mid-afternoon, like 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon. The amount of time you guys have done everything.
In that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, is there? Are we familiar enough with everyone in the town?
For the most part, people have at least seen you.
Okay. Well, just a thought. I can hold on to it. Just our sled isn't big enough. Is what I'm thinking. So.
Erwina will
Time to
begrudgingly
upgrade.
come out from behind Sturm.
Oh, there she is.
Hi. And Castle and Benji will see Erwina's glimmering magical armor around her. Hi.
Okay, what do you? We're gonna come back to you. Hold on. And I think in that moment, Benji takes the teacup. She takes like a singular teacup and she sits it right in front of Stern. And she pours him a glass of tea. And she's just like, help yourself. And she is like, she's gauging him. She's trying to see how delicate or how forceful he is with this teacup. And she wants to see if he uses the pinky.
So he does have a bit of a gentleness to the way that he moves, but also you can tell he's practiced and he has to be kind of focused because he's not particularly coordinated. And so he puts his big hands around it and brings it up and does gently push it against his lips. But no, there's no pinky, but there's a gentleness to it.
I think she just like squints at that. Nobody ever remembers the pinky. And she turns back to Erwina. You.
Do you say that? Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, I think I do, yes.
Okay, then I stop and I raise the pinky
Start pushing the
Like
pinky
that?
slowly.
Yeah. Just
like this.
Yep, just like that.
If this pleases you, I can do that.
This is great. I love this. And I just turned to Erwina. Why are you glowing? You weren't like that yesterday.
Muted.
Muted. Yeah.
I am muted. I wasn't marked as muted. I don't know.
You're good.
I don't know. It's been a day.
Well,
Okay.
it's okay to have a day. And if it means anything, you look spectacular and you look well.
That's exactly what I said. She's got
I
nothing to be
don't-
embarrassed about.
Feel well. I feel nauseous and nervous and like I'm about to, I don't know.
And as
Well,
her eyes trail
either-
off, you see one of those little beads of magic just.
Oh no.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Well.
Oh no.
Well, whatever it is, we will help you if we can. And if not, we will help you help yourself.
Okay. Works for
Also,
me.
your dad's in danger, and
Yeah.
that. What do you need?
I will need to go back to Care Koenig and figure it out from there. Cause that's what I gotta do. So that's my plan.
Well, as for me, that's what I have to do then, is go with you. I will not speak for everyone else.
Well, I was already planning on going. I'm just saying that if we plan on getting there before nightfall, probably can we get there before nightfall?
We are days.
Yeah.
Days away?
Days away.
Yeah, 8 days away.
8 days. Oh, okay. So we'll have. This is a camping trip.
Yes.
All right. I couldn't remember how far it was from there.
Days.
All right. I mean, the way I thought, we're just gonna eat and then we're gonna head out. Except for one detail, and that would be, and I look at Stern and I said, "How do you have a horse or a sled or anything?"
I know what you mean. I can pick up the pace in spite of my gait.
Yeah.
I just sometimes forget.
I was thinking that maybe we should just get a bigger sled, but then we'd need more dogs.
Ah,
Or we can squeeze you in.
What about skis?
What are those? Oh, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I know what seeds are.
They're yeah. Skis would do pretty well to keep up with the sled. If nothing else, we could also then like make it like a cool ride. Remember that
Oh,
time
that's
that
right, you could
we
pull
were
them
on
off.
those sticks and we pulled each other around? You remember that, Storm? You remember that?
I have good memories of that.
Yeah. I also remember I falling a lot. I fell a lot. A lot.
Yes. You were an adorable child.
But if we're going to head out, I'd like to say a word or two to all of you and the adorable child. Uh, and I break
Yeah, my
open the
child.
root. I prepared a sermon for Snark, and that was the only thing I wrote up. So I'm just going to skip ahead if that's okay. Um, and I do 5 minutes and says, as we embark on our journey to rescue Arwena's father and continue in our quest to do what's right for Icewind Dale and raise this terrible curse, and then I go on for 10 minutes.
All right.
And
Go on for 10 minutes.
7 temp hit points.
Ooh, getting stronger.
And then I say, and the blessings of Shantea on you, you, and you. And then I cast an aid spell for 5 on the murder mommies. And yeah, I'll stick to the program.
What was the spell?
8.
Aid. Just give yourself 12. You have a
Oh.
bonus 12.
Okay.
And I'll do the other one on. Geez, I gotta do it on Stern. I'm sorry, Arwina. I mean, he looks like
It's okay.
he's got a big axe. He's 8 feet tall.
He's gonna ask some questions later.
Yeah, for all that, I know I'm mistaken, but he looks like he's made for melee. So,
You may notice, since you're fairly astute, that he does have a very large travel type spell book at his waist.
interesting. So that's 12 for Stern, Castle, and Benji, and that's 7 for myself and Arwina. And seeing as how I can do 6 people, I'll do the bartender as well.
For a moment there, he feels a little warmer. Oh,
Well, when I do the
Gotcha.
speech and the benediction, blessing or whatever.
all right.
This is an incredible blessing. I thank you. Is there a way I can? Is there a way I can repay or otherwise do penance for your God?
No. You're already in good with the Earth Mother. She watches over us.
I thank you.
Go
How
when you are, folks.
how big is do you have a battle axe or is it like a great axe?
Here it is, right here. It's a battle axe. It's a one-handed axe. For him, it's fairly small, but it's a battle axe.
Can I see that for a moment?
He hands it to her.
I just want to feel the weight of it. How heavy is this thing?
It seems remarkably light for its size. You sense that it might have a bit of magic to it, particularly if you look at those runes. You can tell if it's the paint or if they're glowing. But it's a pretty impressive axe.
Have you seen much battle, Stern?
Only some. I had learned the ways of a wizard while I was away. When I was old enough, I had enough courage. I returned to show them my worth. They made me prove it in battle. That's where I lost this eye. And then they said I could stay if they taught me the ways of the warrior. So thus I carry this axe and wear this armor as well. But I am primarily a thinker, a wizard, a spellcaster.
I look to Castle. Okay. We we tend to get into a lot of trouble. So I don't want you to agree to help us if that's not something you can keep up with.
I take no joy in the pain or the death of others, but sometimes it is necessary. And I look down at Erwina, and I will help Erwina find her father. And I understand you wish to find the cause of the curse, and therefore that as well. So anything else that happens, if it is not something some would call evil, then yes, you can count on me.
Okay. With all of this being said, what are we leaving right now? Or are we gonna gather supplies before we go?
I think we're
Indeed,
fine as far as
supplies.
supplies. I'd point at the kitchen. I've been cooking all morning. Uh,
Oh, yes, you made this? Oh, the food was great.
well, I helped out. I couldn't make this by myself. There was a few people cooking. But I reckon we can grab whatever we need from there. And if not, Arena has good berries. And oddly enough, I believe I have a blessing from the goddess. So food and water will not be a problem for this group. Ever.
All right.
Oh, no, wait. That's not till fifth. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. As long as we've got good berries, food and water shouldn't be a problem. But even so, we should take some. Again, my biggest worry is that, well, we'll address that by seeing if we can jury rig some skis for our friend here, and
I'll handle it.
well done. And then well, I reckon we can be off.
I'll.
All right.
I'm assuming that this is urgent, right? I look at Arena.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna take days to get there. I feel bad though about making us wait on Snark's behalf. But I think in some ways Snark would like to stay here. I mean, he never wanted to leave Stillwell anyway, so
Yeah.
he's just waiting
She has a
here.
point.
He's
Oh,
where he wanted to be, that he said a lot.
I hadn't mentioned this to Castle and Benji yet, but but I do mention it. Oh, I've arranged for his urn to be here
Okay.
when they have the wake.
Fantastic.
I reckon he'd like that.
I think I agree with Arowina. He'll be happy to stay here, and he'll also be with us on our adventure. So we get the best of all of him. Mm. And I'll quickly get my things together upstairs, and then I'm gonna head out to make some travel arrangements for us.
Okay. Anything else the rest of you are doing or want to say before we move on to where Castle is heading?
I do. I kind of want to test Storm's like battle. You know, I want to see how he is in the battle. If Eric is okay with that.
Of course, yeah, 1,000%.
Great. I follow Castle up the stairs. Storm, if you could, hold on, I'll be right back. And I run upstairs at the castle. As she's getting her stuff, I'm collecting all the weapons that I have either stolen and or taken from someone I killed. And I'm gonna come back downstairs. I have a great axe on my back and a great sword. And I'm just like, follow me, Storm. Erwin,
I probably let you take Bone Cleaver with you just for fun. You've been wanting to test it out.
Yeah.
I just hand you the bone sword.
Oh, and I'm just like, Erwina, you should probably come too.
And I follow her.
All right. So are you heading out back or?
Out back, somewhere
Okay.
close. Is there anyone out here behind this tavern?
No, I mean you. Pretty much everybody's kind of sitting within the tavern still, finishing up the food and things like that.
Okay. So
Erwina will follow and immediately be distracted by looking for herbs to refill her herbalism kit.
Mhm. I look at Erwina. I look back at Benji because I know I'm right by her. I say, "She has changed, but she has not changed."
Oh,
You-
look at this one.
you have to tell me how she was as a child. I need to know.
You have to tell me everything.
She
Tell
was
me
the
everything.
she was the most energetic, vibrant child I've ever met. That's why I called her Rabbit. It was so active.
Rabbit. That is so cute.
I don't know if she likes that name anymore. I will have to confirm with her. I do not wish to embarrass her.
I can tell you this, Stern. She has no choice in the matter. Her nickname is Rabbit now. And I just kind of look at Erwina. That's Erwina. And I'm just like, all right, if you don't mind, can you just humor me real quick? I just want to see how you are. We want to have a sparring session. I do this to anyone that wishes to join our team. So,
Of course. This is not uncommon with my people.
okay.
I will not use spells.
Now, do you want to do this with weapons or do you want to do this with fists?
I think you are attempting to identify my strengths and weaknesses. You may choose.
I just hold up Castle's sword. I just have my sword. I'm just like, we'll use swords, and give I give Stern my sword, my great sword, Ogre Slayer.
Okay. I prefer to use a shield.
That's fine.
You don't have as your Goliath. You can't wield it two-handed with one-handed, right?
No, I cannot.
Yeah. So yeah, Ogre Slade would be too big.
Do you have another weapon, or is this?
Yes, I do have it. And so, so he does pull out. He has a regular longsword. So if you prefer for him to use that, not the axe, he will use the sword. Sword then. Not magical. Is this how you prefer it?
Yes.
I do have some magical skills in battle if I may use them, not offensively. But you determine the rules, Benji.
You. I'm gonna say this as nicely as possible, Stern. Come at me with whatever you have.
I bow my head, and I will give her initiative.
All right. I'm gonna put you both in initiative.
Benji, if
Mhm.
if you're using Bone Cleaver, it's just a +4.
+4. Cool. All right. Thank you. I got a 5.
I'm lamenting as I'm watching this because I'm thinking, oh, I just buffed both of them.
Okay.
Oh.
That will, yeah. So let's assume that bounces off my armor. He doesn't move very quickly.
Oh, so I go first. Is what you're saying?
Oh, that was your initiative. Yeah,
That was
no,
his
it's
That
fine.
was my initiative. Yeah.
I'm letting you go first.
Okay. And I just need to clarify. He is not a huge creature, right? Because I don't.
He is
really
not.
wanna hurt
He is
him.
not a huge creature. You're absolutely right.
Okay. So I think I think I'm gonna attack with Bone Cleaver first. So you
Okay.
said it's just a +4.
It's a +4, so you can just roll your d20 and then add 4 to it.
Okay. Plus my perfect. Oh, so it's +6 for me.
So the only
Right.
thing that's going to change between Bone Cleaver and what weapon you're using is the damage itself. It's going to
Mhm.
be your strength plus your proficiency, because those aren't +1 weapons. So
Okay. So I think Stern, you see as I kind of back up like a couple of paces, you see my body starts to transform. You see I kind of get hairy at at my wrist, and my nails grow. And you see when I smile, I smile at you. You see I have canine teeth. My eyes are, one is white and one is blue, and you see the tattoos that I had kind of morph,
Hmm.
and I will rage.
Sir, do me a favor. Give me a history check real fast.
That I can do. History. Luckily, I'm proficient. So let's see what we got. Where do we get there? Did it come out?
Let me look.
I think. Do I have to click on my character first?
So your character should be up. Yeah,
Yeah,
your
hang
history
on.
check was an 11. So yeah, you.
Okay, there we go.
No, you don't. You don't remember anything by this. This doesn't
Okay.
jog your memory on anything.
Okay. I just say, "Fierce warrior, I'm ready for your test, Benji."
And I will charge at him, swinging. Oh, I will swing a bone cleaver.
And I
So-
scream like this. Ah!
So when you attack with Ogre Slayer, you're gonna take 1 off on that.
All right, so it would have been the 10.
Okay, yeah, so that will bounce off my armor.
Right.
You watch as you strike his armor. It's just literally, it's as if it just ricochets off.
I think Benji is smiling very maniacally, but she's just like, she's delighted by this.
Okay, Sturm, you going to do anything?
Okay. He hesitates for a moment, but he knows that the mission here is to be tested, so hesitation would not be seen positively. So he's going to go ahead and swing with his longsword, which I believe I have in here somewhere.
Mhm.
I have battle axe, unarmed strike. I have a hand axe. So it'll be the same as. Let's do the same as my battle axe, but it'll just be -1 to hit, -1 damage, right?
Yep. Give me 1 second, and I'll drop the longsword in there. But just gotta.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'll wait for you. Excellent.
You
Look
can
at
you can roll the attack though while I'm trying to get that ready.
that. Okay, so this -1.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and it's going to be a D8 plus my strength, which is 4. So it'll be a D8 plus 4. So it's -1 to this because it's a +1 battle axe
There
I'd
you go.
normally be using.
There you go. You've got
So-
the longsword
so-
now.
11 points.
Half.
Half
Because
yep,
I'm raging.
So 5.
5.
So, and you have your 12 points of temporary. So
Yeah.
And how, when you connect with my skin, I flinch, but it's not like, it's like, I had a little to it. Okay.
Yeah. It's just impressively strong.
No, I think I just pull the axe out of wherever it landed, or the sword out of wherever it landed. I want to see your magic. Do something magical. And I will
All right.
attack again. I will attack again.
All right.
This time recklessly.
okay.
This is -1, you said?
Yep, with the Ogre Slayer, it'd be -1. Oh, unless you're using Ogre Slayer, it'd be -1.
Yeah, I think I put Bone Carver down and now I'm like using Ogre Slayer.
You got serious.
Reckless. Yeah, it got serious.
Okay.
24?
24 will hit.
So yeah, I will use my reaction and cast a shield spell, which will then miss because I have a
Yes.
25 with my shield. So as you strike me, I raise up my shield and I murmur something, and then a huge runic dome appears over me briefly, and it bounces. You can tell I barely took it, but it defended it. And I will cast levitation on you. That
What?
is. You said to use magic, right?
Yeah.
Levitation is. I think might be a strength, which would be great for you. But let me check. Levitation. Where are you? There it is. Levitate. Looks like. Here, let me just do this. Cast spell.
Constitution save.
Yeah, Constitution save. There you go.
AC 14?
Yes. So I step back, more murmurs, and some runes wrap themselves around you, but it looks like you broke out of it.
Yes.
Okay. And that's my turn.
You start to feel your feet start to give from the ground, and just with absolute force, just push down and break the spell. Benji.
Show me something offensive. Was that all you can do?
It is not.
Great. And I swing again. This time, I think he is so much taller than Benji. She's like, I think she pauses. She's like, how can I take this man down? Oh, so I think she will, I don't want to swing it. I think she will can she try to climb on top of him?
I love it.
I'm sure you could try.
I will try, yeah.
So, are you going to athletics check? Try to like get up to his.
Yeah, get up to his height so that we're the same height.
Okay.
Or, I'm like staring him in the face.
Yeah, give me an athletics against Sturm's athletics or acrobatics, depending on his choice.
I have a 26.
Okay. Let's see. Athletics. Here we go. A 20.
So you watch
So I'm
as Benji
effectively I'm
like,
grappling.
uses your leg almost as like a kickoff and grabs both of your shoulders and pulls up so that she is staring straight at you. These teeth just hanging out of the side of her mouth. You can see the eyes have completely focused in on yours. She's just staring straight at you. What do you want to do?
Beautiful.
And, like, as she's staring at you, it's just like looking at a wild animal.
I'm going to use my turn to try and toss her off.
Okay.
So I'll use acrobatics to try and break it.
Yep.
Or not acrobatics, sorry, athletics.
Athletics to try to break it. Yep.
Oh, no, not even close. They don't even bother rolling. Yeah. So I'm reaching, trying to pull you off, and I could say I can't. You get to go again.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think as he's trying to toss me off, I use that momentum and I kind of flip over his head so that I'm on his back and I'm gonna try to wrestle him to the ground.
Okay.
Nice. Love it.
So are you trying to restrain him at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Same thing, athletics.
Oh, 18.
So I think if you beat it, right? Because it's
Yeah.
defensive. Okay. Okay. So he's aware. Well, he'll talk out loud. I'm aware you said to be offensive, but this may be my best option. I'll cast levitate a second time.
Okay.
So let me
Okay.
button. This is my last second level spell. Roll the dice here. So
Okay.
Roll against it.
Constitution saving throw, DC 14.
17.
broke it again. Your fortitude is incredible.
Thank you. and I'm sorry about this. And I will,
I love it.
I will, I will try to wrestle him down again.
Okay.
Uh,
The two of you, because Castle is gone right now, are either of you doing anything at this moment?
Erwina kind of wants to get going, but we'll use this as an opportunity to continue to fill her herbalism kit.
Okay.
And when the fighting gets good, she's kind of like sitting with like the animals because she still has speak with animal because it lasts a length of time.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like narrating to like all like the little like tavern rats.
Yeah, you've
and
got
ground
squirrels
squirrels,
around
a
you. You've
deer.
got a couple different types of birds. The dogs are
She's-
sitting there just enjoyable. Even the unknown Gumbo shows up out of nowhere.
Oh, hi, Gumbo. It's been a long time. Though we really should probably be wrapping this up, though, because we gotta, like, go.
And you see in unison all 14 animals go.
Mm-hmm. Can we wrap this up? She yells in common, not in animal.
Yeah. So,
I'll use my, because I believe now I'm pinned or I grappled into the ground.
yep,
I will again use my athletics to try and break out.
Okay. Since you
No,
are
I just-
since you are restrained at this point, it'll be at disadvantage.
Not for grappling.
Oh, that's right.
Attacking. Yeah, attacking would be. That's
Yeah.
just why I'm trying to get out of the grapple.
Yep, got you.
25 this time.
He's squirrely.
yeah, he gets out.
All right. So I stand up because I still have my movement then,
Mhm.
and that is my turn because I can't. All I can do is move in action.
Mhm.
I say, so much power in that body. For your size, I mean.
I just look up at him. I'm just like, thank you. You did great. And I think I come out of that rage and everything recedes.
Are we
Yeah.
done?
Yeah, that was
We're done?
great.
Sure.
Yeah, we are.
Jim Jack's looking very impatient. I'm somewhat annoyed. Good. I'm glad you're done. Is anyone
Well,
injured?
I mean, no, nobody's
Good.
injured.
I'm glad no one's injured. And I get up and I walk away.
I reach a hand out.
And yeah, I just shake his hand.
I hope I passed your test. I wish to join you.
You know, Stern, I think I'm gonna like you a lot.
I've heard the way you spoke of your fallen friend. I think I will like all of you. Thank you for letting me join you.
I just pick up Castle's sword and I throw it on my back. And I just drag my sword behind me. And I see Gumbo and I'm just like, oh, baby, where have you been?
You notice that Gumbo has kind of been hiding in like bedrolls and things like that throughout the packs, just keeping warm. And now that you're in an area where they're actually like comfortable in temperature, they kind of come out and look around. Curls up next to your like neck and just wraps up into the fur itself. But while that's all happening, Castle, you go to Oakencrests, and between Oakencrests and Fieldwells, you're able to come up with a idea. The two options you have, of course, are another sled dog and an upgrade to your sled. There is also a option for the so-called skis that were mentioned. The sled dog and the sled are going. The upgrade is going to be another 20 gold for the sled upgrade, and then the sled dog will be another 50.
I think Castle is gonna like think about like the ski ideas
Mhm.
and think about how like Arowena had like that happy childhood memory and like Castle gets like happy about that because like they don't really have a lot of those happy memories, and they know Arowena is struggling. But then Castle remembers that our new companion seems to already have an issue with his legs, and it's like, this could work, this couldn't work. It's a safer bet to just let's upgrade. Like,
Okay.
so I'm gonna upgrade the sled, and we're gonna get us another doggy.
All right. Now, Oakencrest, one of the dwarves said, it's going to take about half a day to upgrade the sled, because we're going to have to install all new all new insides on it, and the bottom has to be expanded and whatnot, because we have to now build it for 4 dogs instead of 2 dogs.
Is there nothing
Now we've got
you?
there's one other option, but you'll have
Okay.
to see if Fieldwell is willing to part with him.
Okay.
Axe Peaks are a dang good ride if it's only for one. A little pricey.
What?
An Axe Peak. Big
Oh.
old bird with giant axe on its face.
Oh, yeah. Pricey. How?
Run about 120.
I think Castle's gonna like think to herself on that, and like knowing that she's still okay. Like, she's still fine. But I think that she knows how important this is. Arowena has the chance. We have the chance to save her dad. And Castle will be damned if she fails Arowena when she didn't have the chance to save her dad. So she's gonna go try and get whatever this extravagance is.
All right, so you head over to Fieldwell's, and you've seen it in like glimpses. This massive bird of white and gray feathers, and the front of the face has this bluish yellow color to it, but then it comes to a point at the edge of the beak. Hi. Well, it's good seeing you. What can I help you with?
We've had an emergency, and
An emergency? What happened?
one of our party members, their family in their town seems to be in some peril, and we don't have a lot of time, and I'm just going to be frank with you. I need to buy your bird.
My bird? What?
Your friend. This beautiful creature.
But I've had Alfredo in the family for years.
Did he say his name is Alfredo?
His name is Alfredo, yes.
You must buy that bird.
I love a family companion. Someone you have trusted and cared for, and in return has cared for you. This is a mission of family. We are our own family now. And if we can save what little of our outlying family we have left, please.
With that good of a requirement, give me a persuasion with advantage. Let's see what the dice say.
24.
You mention a family. And I really loved my family, and Alfredo has been one of the family for many years.
He will be my most trusted family.
I can't give him away just for free.
Name your price.
120.
And I I dig my bag out of the depths of all of my armor and feathers and layers, and I count it out and I shove it back down into all of my pouches and feathers and inside as far as in my clothing as I can hide it.
And he takes the 120 and he counts it slowly. You start to see a tear come down his face.
What is wrong?
This is. I've helped Alfredo since he was young. But if you need him, he's a good bird. He'll help you. And he walks over to Alfredo and wraps his arms around his neck. He says, "You be good for them. You keep them safe. You run fast."
I'll look at him and I'll say, if by chance we break the curse and I can protect Alfredo with my life and keep him alive, by her Raven's grace, I will return him to you.
I mean, a purchase is a purchase, but if you bring him back, it'd mean a great deal for me.
And you need not pay me back. He is your family and therefore now ours. And that is a life bond.
Well, let me show you how this all works. And he kind of
Right.
he grabs the saddle and he places it on top of Alfredo and he bends the reins down and buckles them. He says, "All right, now that's the big thing because these birds, though they're friendly, they're not super friendly." And he places almost like a cloth over the beak itself, and he ties it to the back of the head of the beak so that it's just you see the eyes.
Yeah.
Similar to what you would see as a derby horse type look.
Yeah.
He says, "Alfredo will be good, and we'll see you soon." And he kind of pats him, and then he hands you the reins.
All right. I will.
You now have an axe beak.
I just want you to know my Final Fantasy Chocobo heart is very happy now.
So axe beaks in Icewind Dale can take one individual and carry them at the same speed as a sled, and that's the equivalency of what you're doing.
Okay, cool.
So
Well, if Castle's on the axe beak, that only leaves the three of us for the sled. Four of us.
Four of you, yeah.
I was like,
The sled is
where'd the fourth person go?
And the sled is designed for 5. So
But we have a bigger person with us now.
yeah. So Stern, even if Stern counts for 2, it'll be fine.
Correct.
I think I like come back up to the tavern like as you guys are, I guess, doing what people do before they go on a road trip and setting their luggage outside. You just see a giant bird.
You see Castle just on a giant bird, kind of looking like she's walking into town as a sheriff coming into a western,
Yes.
just grinning from ear to ear as this very well taken care of Axbeak heads towards the tavern.
I think Benji's just like shaking her head as she's standing outside, outside in the front, as the others are getting whatever they need. She's just like, "Oh, okay, we have another one. We just keep growing as a family."
That's a mighty fine bird. I'd say so myself.
His name's Alfredo.
No.
Oh my! And I just pick up Gumbo. I pick up Gumbo and I run to castle. I'm just like, look, I found Gumbo. We have Gumbo and Alfredo now.
Where was he hiding?
I don't know.
He was in one of one of the bedrolls that you had on the sled the entire time.
I understand that I'm a very bad pet owner, but like I'm great with children though, and I'm just like I just give Alfredo the castle, and I'm just like, this is great.
Put him up there on my shoulder, and then I'll turn to Arowina, and I'm like, tell us when to leave, and we can go.
I've gotten the sled ready.
Okay.
I also made Gumbo a harness, so if he wants to, he can run with the dogs.
Oh, and I just looked at Gumbo. I'm just like,
And you see the little flock.
oh, he says no. He says he can't come outside today.
Okay.
As
Well, if he
all
ever
of the
changes his
pile,
mind-
as you start piling the luggage outside, Gumbo finds another bag that is inside. You just see a tail hanging out the back end of it.
And Arowina goes, they'll never know about all the mice in my coat, in my cloak. It's fine.
I love that.
Okay.
And I will wait for Arowina to say when.
I'll start
Yep.
setting up the sled
Okay.
and setting a spot for Stern on the sled. And then I'll. Oh well. If I recall correctly, I'm the only person with animal.
You and I both have animal handling, and I'm proficient in it. So
What am I, chopped
I'm-
liver?
yeah, I was like, Arowina has to because she's a druid. I was like, I knew I had it, and I assumed you had to have had it as well. I was like, there's no way. It's just.
No, so I think the reason you were using the sled is because you have vehicle handling.
Yeah. I have.
Land vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I also am proficient in animal handling.
So is Jim Jack.
So is Arowina.
If
So is
anyone
Arowina.
wants to drive the sled, then I'm fine. Do you?
Huh?
I was gonna drive the sled.
Oh, either way, I can talk to the animals, but I can also just help like I have been.
It's also a long journey.
Yeah.
We can all
take
take turns. Yeah.
Alright.
I did not agree to that, but okay.
What? Did not agree to what?
Driving the sled because we will crash. I don't want to be responsible for that.
Oh, sweetheart. No. They can take turns, not you.
Okay.
All right. So let's get settled in then, eh?
Okay.
I pull Sperm with me and I'm just like, hey, you can sit next to me.
Oh, no one's sitting next to anyone in that sled. It's in front or behind.
Front or behind.
All right, you can stand next to me, okay?
Stand.
Let's, Jinjack, get your ass on that sled right now. Before you piss me off.
What I need to do, when I need to do it, and when I feel like doing it.
I will drag you there by your hands,
Stern,
by your legs.
Mr.
Let's
Stern,
go.
I can
right
just start
here.
walking to.
I think
at this point, I'm just gonna. Arowina's like I'm gonna
Grabs
start
Arrowhead
walking.
grabs a bag and starts walking away.
Get in the sled.
I start walking with Arowina on my giant bird. I'm like,
And
let's go.
Yeah,
Driver.
we're never leaving.
We're never leaving. We
The driver
just
stands on
Arowina and
the
I
back
just
of the-
start going.
The sled
Well-
driver stands on the back of the sled if it's a standard dog sled. Everyone else sits in the sled in a row. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
All right, let's stand next to and stand up and whatever. The smartest thing to do is my suggestion is to have Stern on the back and then the other two in front of him.
Correct.
If you do it any other way, you will not be able to see past Stern. Up
That
to
is
you.
true.
Or we could just call an Uber.
Oh.
Stern, yeah.
No, he doesn't say that. I do.
All right. So I'll get on the back and I'll say, how's this go again, Arwina? Mush.
As soon as you
Arena.
say that, just
All right, that's what you say. I wave to Castle.
catching up to Castle. Arowena that pulls next to you as you jump on, as you all get ready to head out of Stillwell, the same way that you were brought in here the first time through the caves, because going up through the edges of the mountains would just be more difficult. A group of townsfolk actually come out to see you off. You know, they give you a farewell of and a good luck, as some of them are waving and tossing, flower petals and things like that into the air as you guys head off down through the caves out into the wilderness of Icewind Dale. As we get to this point, this journey is about 2 weeks, about eight to 9 days, even on sled. So what we're going to do for the rest of the evening is, for our players who have gained levels, during those evenings, each one of you are going to describe how that level affected you and how it had connected. And from there, then we'll wrap you guys up, arriving at Caer Konig at the end of the evening. So going around in a circle, we'll start with Torrance for this one. So Castle, what did you take for level 4?
So I took another paladin level.
Okay.
And I took the divinely favored feat. And Castle has struggled since she lost her parents about death and grief and betrayal and everything that has happened to her, and that she is attempting to get retribution for, in addition to stopping this curse, which she thinks is somehow connected to what's going on back home.
Okay.
And so, and now with the death of Snark, it's just another blow. But she has resolved herself to being happy about it, while still not necessarily liking it. It's death. But she is now bound to the divine death. And she has, I think we see her a couple of nights on this journey to herself, just going into a place where she's able to have a similar conversation with the Raven Queen. Okay. And it's never direct contact. It's always very cryptic, because that's what she likes to do. But I think Castle just sits in that a lot.
And about the third day in, towards the evening, as you're sitting around the campfire, part of the moment where you're taking watch, and you see just at the distance that one raven just watching over.
I think by the third day, she has started to realize that she has a little bit of control over when it appears and how it appears, and has a little bit of control over how she can use that to her advantage going forward. At first she was At first, she was just kind of like, like, okay, I get it, you're here, and then it kind of became more of she's been fiddling around with it.
Okay. As the days go by, the snow continues to pick up on time at moments. The rush back to Caer Koenig seems to be the key point in all of this. But through all of this, you all are each gathering your knowledge and preparing yourselves. Benji, what did you take for level 4?
Uh, Benji took another 2 points to her dexterity. So she has increased her dexterity, becoming more dexterous and aware of her surroundings.
Okay.
I think to do that, she has been taking out the longbow she took from an orc, and she has been kind of like trying to just find like little kind of woodland creatures, and she has been shooting arrows at them until she could hit one while the sled was moving. Uh, I think she's been practicing that for maybe a better half of like a week and a half.
Okay. Sounds good. At one moment, you do get a point during the sled ride, a few days in, where you catch one. And as you do, Alfredo kind of stops for a moment, runs over, and snags that thing out of the ground. And then just trots back up towards.
I was so glad I could help you, but I'm just like, I think I would have on speak with animals so that I can talk to him.
Okay.
I'm just like, here, you can have the leftovers. And I do that.
All right. Continuing our journey. Nights are cold, much different than what you're used to in Stillwell. Blizzard's been picked up as you pass by the edges of East Haven, stopping in for a moment just to break, but not long enough to even adventure to visit with anyone, but just staying on the outskirts. Jinjak, what did you take for level 4?
I took 1 point of charisma and 1 point of constitution.
And how did you gain those, do you believe?
I, through frequent prayer and interaction with others, and mainly from the reinforcement of my faith with the goddess Shantea when she told me that I have a mission. And I realized that I need to step up to be able to convince and motivate others to complete this mission.
Excellent.
And that's for the charisma part. For the rest, I've just been eating really healthy. And
True. I mean, you in Stillwell was a much different type of diet than you're used to.
exactly, ever since I've come to Iceland Dale, my diet's been terrible and the snow's been a really strange color as a consequence. But I have had, since arriving in Stillwell, I have eaten well. And I won't expand on it, but let's just say that things have been passing more smoothly and I'm getting a lot healthier.
Excellent.
Eating some southern cuisine as possible.
As you head towards Caer Koenig, now a week and a half into the journey, right before, on the edges of the darkness, where you can see glimpses as the lantern light flickers back and forth on the back of the ride. Remember, this entire time is everything is dark. So riding in darkness for days on days, it can be draining. But you do notice a strange fortress off to the distance, black in color. And you know that is the last landmark before arriving back home. Erowina, we already know that you have taken a level in Sorcerer for level 4. As things have been odd for the last week now, week and a half. Moments where the lights would just turn on, beams of magic just float around, fire off in different directions. You glow at random occasions, at night and day. But towards the end, as you're arriving, you start to understand it a bit. Is there anything that you start to gain from that?
I think that a lot of it is her, like, anytime they take breaks, or stop for the evening, is her trying to get a handle on it.
Okay.
She seems to have just more ambient energy. At one point, Jinjack gets frisky with the food at some point, and she takes out the spoon and she starts waggling it, and you can actually see like an ephemeral starlit fire form around the spoon, and then she's like, "Oh, great! Something else weird and unusual." And I think this is also accompanied by, but she then tries to like focus in on like what triggered it, what feelings, what emotions brought out these different abilities. At one point, she's talking about how much she misses Snark, and there is a minor illusion of Snark just running through the snow. And it's just like, okay, well, we'll deal with those feelings, but what are those feelings? And she like sinks into it to get that control. She has always been more instinctual with her magic, being a druid, but this is this magic is an extension of her in a way. Even her druidic magic hasn't been until this point. It's just a whole different state of being almost. She's back to almost basics, and she keeps having reoccurring dreams. While everyone else remembers the cave, she does not. She instead dreams of being on top of the mountains by herself in a stone cairn, and giant celestial spirits surrounding her under a sliver of moonlight. And that's what she's been going through the last almost week.
So as you internalize for days on end, off and on, the finalness of your final steps of your journey begin as you push over that last hilltop, heading down into what you can now see as crystalline waters. Frozen over, of course, holes in them the size of large pockets, where knucklehead trout barrel themselves in and out of the ice. Caer Konig is not what you remember it. There is smoke coming from houses, buildings broken, doors busted in, windows shattered, parts of the fort itself where Trovis lived, the front end patio, like the front end where the pillar was standing to hold the second floor, the pillar is broken off and the floor is collapsed inward, blocking the front entrance. The light that you caught from the northern inn, still glowing dimly. But this is not the Caer Konig you remember, as everything is in shambles. And you take your first step off the sled as you pull into the area, and you look around, and it is deadly quiet. And the last thing you see is yet another feather laying on the ground, golden in color, just lying there in the snow. And that's where we'll pick up next week. All right, everybody. As we come back to where it all began, back to Caer Konig, we find out what happened. And we find out why this is tied into Sturm and where all this is happening. But before we do, of course, we're going to let Chris show off his cool artwork, because we've got more stuff, as the X-Beak is now a part of the party. And once again, Chris with the amazing quick sketches that I don't know how he does.
I want one.
Yeah.
Everybody wants an Alfredo.
I want, and they'll all be named Alfredo.
Yeah. So we'll go around the circle, and then I'll tell the story of Alfredo real fast, and then we'll close it out. Because it is a homage to, it's not a big story, but we'll go around the circle real fast. Alex, what do you have going on?
Hi, I I'm Alex. You can find me on TikTok, usually doing my Erwina content, which has been going pretty well. I'm also now making scale mail, and possibly selling it. I haven't quite figured out all of that yet. I did not make these, but I have made other pieces inspired by this. So that's exciting, and hopefully we'll be starting our streaming show soon on the Bad Ideas channel. So that'll be very exciting.
Awesome. Torrance.
Hey guys, you can find me here on Twitch, where we do fun games. We'll have gaming night. You can watch me pull a Benji and go into a rage as I get upset with games, but it's always a lot of fun and everyone is always welcome. And then as far as TikTok goes, it's the same. It's the Tiny T14, and there's more castle content. There's some of my other characters on there. I just dropped a new tiefling character that I've been having some fun with as far as the content I've made with that already. And lastly, hopefully in the next week or two, I will be working on writing my first D&D novel and talking with a publisher. So
Awesome. Space, anything going on over there?
As much as you guys know, you can catch me here on Mondays. Like I said last week, for now.
All right, I love the for now. Let's get everybody on. Let's get everybody doing cool stuff. It's great. We're gonna go to Eric with his amazing new armor, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I would have stuck with Snark longer, but that mask is a torture device, and but he'll make his way back someday. Yeah, so I'm Eric, and you can find me on Dad Jokes and Dragons on TikTok. We just had an awesome milestone of 9,000 followers. Took a little over a year to do that, so I'm really happy. And yeah, I have some other stuff to announce down the road, but I don't like to be premature. But I am going to start a publishing company for books, and my first person I'm going to go to is Torrance, and she's going to write a D&D adventure that I'm going to publish. Okay, but anyway, that's all. But I'm really excited for you, Torrance. That sounds super exciting, by the way.
That's awesome.
That's it.
Chris, anything in the world of art?
I'm still working on getting my art online,
Awesome.
and but I've been busy. Well, you know what I've been busy doing.
Secret projects. Secret projects.
It's secret project. It's freelance work, and it's actually been really fulfilling, but it's really, really a lot of work. So I'm sorry if I won't be able to create as many screens as
all right.
I do.
I will say though, if you want Chris to continue to make screens for us, there's always donation options.
Yes,
If we can get him to pay. If we can get him to be paid, we can definitely get more artwork.
I will.
So
I feel inspired tonight, so I'm going to make it a point to get that axe beat done because Alfredo deserves the best.
yeah.
Such a good baby.
So Alfredo is a homage to my home game, Icewind Dale game. They have a Axebeak also named Alfredo, and thank you guys for continuing this wonderful story. Misfits is changing, so heads up, we're evolving this year. We're changing into some new things. We've got a new show starting here in the next month with a new person at the face. Misfits is no longer just going to be me. There's going to be multiple people on the stream, and we're going to be doing more than just Dungeons and Dragons. So we're super excited about that. Not to mention, like I said, we've got our first sponsor, and also we have both Misfits and Dress to Quest merch coming. So go check him out. Dungeon Grandmaster is our apparel man. He's working on everything right now, and we're going to work with Chris to put all of this cool stuff that he draws on shirts. So check us out. It's cool, right? Anyway,
Amazing.
love this stuff. And cups and mugs. We're going to have chibi mugs. Chibi
Underwear?
mugs.
Yes.
So we're currently working on the website and getting everything straightened out and all that fun stuff. But be prepared soon. Also, I hope you guys really enjoyed the intro. It's been taking me about 2.5 weeks to try to get that fully cleaned up. But there's a little bit of audio changes I'm going to do thanks to our wonderful people over there at Monument Studios. But other than that, I think I'm good. Come check us out next week on Monday as we find out what happens in Caer Konig, or what has happened, rather. And if you like what I do and want to hear me talk about this more, come over to my show on Wednesday nights where I have interviews with wonderful people like these people and all my other guests that come over. Until then,
I'd like to interject at this point and say thank you, James, for the intro. I think I speak for everyone else on the crew, and it's really, really wonderful. And thank you.
no, it is an honor to be a part of this show, and it was just my way of giving back. So I don't want to get
Last
any more
one.
emotional. So I don't like getting emotional on show unless it's during the actual game. So until then, hope you guys all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys all next week for Just Quest.